Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Was he cutting out?
He's cutting out a little bit.
Well, John's cutting out.
John's cutting out, yeah.
Not the
Let's hear
other.
Bella's argument then.
Yeah, sure. Since I'm sure everyone can
we-
hear, and I'm also
we
not
don't
driving.
have access to the objective truth because John is in a drive-through. How about that?
The idea behind atheism is that why don't you kill yourself? If there is no
Okay, wait.
nothing that you do, I got to do.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, I'm getting somewhere.
What
Why
No,
don't
wait.
you kill yourself?
Wait.
Because
This is
I make
no,
this
wait. This is like what John was doing, which was like initially the problem.
No. I don't think Bubba's as motivated though. Like let me hear it.
No, but I just want to get like an argument.
An argument
For the conclusion,
because nothing that you do matters, right? Like because
Wait,
we are
where
just
do you get that
spec in
from?
the
That's like a
universe
conclusion.
with
So
no
like, why would it be the
creator.
case?
Wait, but that's just
There's
another
no
claim.
creator, right? There's no God.
Wait,
There's no
okay,
creator.
wait. You're making like a number of claims. One is that you're saying that atheist is committed to the view that nothing matters. Then you said that. Then you made this other claim, this conditional, where if there's no creator, then nothing matters, which is also something we also presumably don't grant. So now you just have to generate two arguments for both of
We
those.
just go along this earth, we die, and we become one with the earth again. That seems like a pretty cool way to go to me.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
so
but
which
which one do you want to
that's
like defend first?
Yep,
of these
that's just
two
it.
arguments?
If
I wouldn't
I think
kill myself.
we should
because
start with
nothing would
the
nothing
conditional.
would compel me to kill myself. I like my life. I like doing what I do.
yes,
And I like the people in my life. The people in my life are really important to me. And plus, it would make my cat sad. That's why I don't kill myself.
To be fair, Bubba did come in a little bit later, so he may not have caught the whole tail end of the
No, wait,
conversation.
but let's just try and get
That's fine.
what's like the
Yeah.
defense for the conditional claim.
the idea behind you guys talk about the conditional claim. I don't know what John was saying. I just got here like
No,
about
you're a
probably 2
conditional.
minutes ago. My conditional like because
If there's no creator,
all
life
that-
is meaningless.
if all that happens when you die is that you end up in the ground and you die, then nothing. Me, you, Mother Teresa, Adolf Hitler, we're all going to the same place.
And
My
none of that is
purpose
like
is
endowment
not-
from
Wait,
atheism,
but that-
first
my
of all,
purpose,
but-
wait,
my
no,
purpose in life
hold
is just as my purpose in life is just as equal and probable to, or sorry, not probable,
Probable.
just as equal to all of your purposes in life. It doesn't matter if I go around, I feed the sick, if I help the poor, if I start my own billion-dollar business.
Both of
I am
those
just as
things.
valuable in
Okay,
this world
okay,
than
look.
you are.
Yeah, but now you're
Why would you think you're disturbing?
hold on. You're making two additional claims that we also don't grant.
Serving mean anyway.
Can someone with
oh,
like the
sorry.
children in the
Yeah,
background mute?
Anyway.
Yeah, who has the kid?
Yeah, can you mute?
Yeah.
When you're bothering somebody and they don't want you to
Peripheral.
bother, you're not disturbing them.
Listen,
You're hot micing. I don't know who's...
Yeah,
Peripheral.
I'll just I'll
Just mute?
mute. I just temp mute Peripheral, but I'll let him text him real quick.
Yeah. So first, so it can be true that of course there's like of course it can be true that there's like no afterlife and life is still meaningful. In some sense, we might even be like some axiological realist in which meaning is like an actual like property, either naturalistically or in like some abstract domain, like some like Platonistic view. So it can be true. There is this like Platonistic axiological property of like meaningfulness or value that is assigned to things even if there's no afterlife. Okay, so just the mere fact there's no afterlife doesn't establish both there isn't like this relevant fictional sense that agents are disposed to speaking of when they talk about meaning, and it also doesn't especially distinguish this more abstract Platonist sense of axiological properties that might be instantiated in objects in which they're like actually like ontologically meaningful. Okay, so and also I don't know. It seems like you have this view that what you mean by meaning is just like designed with intent or something dumb like that.
Here's a good question for you, and I try not to get you don't have go as personal as you want with this question. Illist is so what do you believe in, and what is the evidence for your belief, for your purpose, and for your purpose on this world?
Well, I have my own purpose. I don't take it that there's independent.
Like what is it? What gives you joy in life? And why?
Well, the why is just going to be some like it's going to be like psychologically explained by like causal influence of my environmental facts, and I'm not going to be able to introspect on those. So I'm not going to have the answer. It's just going to be the case I have these psychological states due to like environmental facts. But if you're just what does this literally turns on nothing. Me like giving like a set of things that make me happy, and why do they make me happy? None of this turns on the claim of whether or not like there's meaning without there being a creator. In fact, it's logically possible there's a creator and no meaning. So that like obviously that's a logically possible world. So that wouldn't
just live your life and try to make a meaningful impact. That's about all you can do.
I would ask you, like, man, like, do you think that if you found out that God wasn't real, like, do you have anyone in your life that you care about deeply, like
sure,
friends?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. Would you stop caring about them if you figured out God wasn't real?
I would say no. I would not stop caring about the person, but I also want to continue by saying, the reason that we love people is one of the great evidences that we have that God exists.
But you just understand it's not even
I have no
an entailment from there being a creator that there's like meaning to life. You understand that presumably.
Well, just let me finish. Like,
yeah.
So love is evidence of God. You're saying?
Yep. Because we do not get any rational reason for me to love another person. So if you say, Yeah, if reproducing
No
was the reason that I
rational
love people,
reason?
then why don't I just like go and I try and have sex with
You're-
as many women as I can and
What
then
is this
reproduce
guy?
that way?
Do you
Like,
know what a
why do I
rational
actually-
reason is?
What?
If I
What do you
like, if my purpose,
think?
like,
What do
for
you think a
example,
rational reason
if
is?
my purpose in life,
Boy, dude, chill.
if my purpose in life was
Well, he's
say
just constantly saying nonsense.
if I were just to want to work as hard as I can, I don't have to love anyone in my life just by working. I can just be fulfilled in my life forever just by working. But why do I love people? Why do I love my girlfriend? Why do I love my mother?
Instincts.
But these are just a set of questions. I want to know why you're motivated to believe that if there's no creator, then it's just an entailment from the view that there is no purpose, right? And you're making like this very robust claim that even agents can have their own personal like purpose for their lives. If there's just no like creator independent of them, there's not intent behind their lives, then they, of course, like develop their own purpose. But you're like even denied that. So like, why would it be entailed from there not being a creator that there is no purpose?
Because if God's not real and we just came from, random matter and energy, let's say like evolution just kind of came from.
But look,
from what I understand,
you're causing more stuff. This would not be. No, wait. But
Jesus
to be
Christ.
clear, no, because he's making errors. Yeah, because look, he's making errors. Yeah, look, because he's making errors.
Started.
Yeah, but you're saying that if it's the case that God doesn't exist and we came from just matter and energy, that could just like also not be true.
Then
Oh my God.
then what
No, he
created
said
us?
if.
No, but look, now you're asking me to like provide you an explanation for what like actually made us into existence, which is entirely
Bro,
different.
No, he's not. He's not asking you that.
Wait, no, he just asked you then what made
He
you.
got hacked.
That's what he just
through a
asked.
claim.
So,
He
brother,
just-
Hold on, Ian.
If you have an ounce of charitability, he's just saying
Yeah,
God doesn't
hold on.
exist and we are the result of natural processes. That's all he's saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Also, listen,
What
I want to say why
are you
I
not
said that, because
understanding? Okay, but the issue is it can follow that we're not actually. Hold on, but it could just
Okay,
be
let
true
him
that we're
finish
just not.
though. Let him finish his thought.
It could just be true that we're not formed naturally, because of course they're not being like a god doesn't actually eliminate like supernaturalism,
Are you gonna let him finish talking?
or even just like these other non-natural
He's not
beings.
going to let him
This
finish.
guy's an idiot.
I want to finish
Wait,
what I have
what
to
do
say. I just don't want to be interrupted. So I say what I'm saying, that we just come from matter and energy, because I took a biological anthropology class last semester. Now school's out, but I took a biological anthropology class, which so it gets down to the first pillar of evolution, which is that we just came from a chemical soup, which created the first piece of DNA and blood, like not blood, just micro single cell organism, and we evolved millions and billions of years from that. If that is the case, we really did come from that, then we didn't really come from a creator, and life is just absurd.
It's
Then
beautiful.
therefore it does not matter what I do. This is what
What do you mean life is absurd?
Life is absurd because we just came from a 0 billion cosmic 1 in a billion chance of existing.
Isn't that a
That's
beautiful way to look at it?
But what do you mean by absurd?
No, it came from a comet. The amino acids and all
Okay,
that
but now
stuff.
you're just making a different conditional claim that if we came from like cosmic
I'm saying
soup.
what I learned in class. And
No, but
what
yeah,
you
but now
learned
you're
in class as
saying
well.
that if you came from cosmic soup, then life's purposeless.
Well, if determinism is true, life is purposeless.
Wait, we're not even talking about determinism. And also,
That's
how
exact. I mean, that's okay. What he's presenting
Wait,
is a
no, we're not-
determinist view.
No, wait,
No,
we're not
what
talking
he's
about
just-
determinism.
It's not
What
some
he-
type of political statement that I'm making. It's the things that are
Nothing
scientific.
he said
in
has to do
school.
with determinism.
No, listen.
It will if I could just finish. If
It
we
isn't.
really did come from this cosmic, like we just came from material things and we evolved from a single cell organism, then what we do does not matter. It does
Okay,
not
so
matter
what's
if I
the
go
argument?
around
That
raping
conclusion
women,
doesn't
it
even
go-
follow.
No, wait,
It's
but
completely
look, that's
non-sequitur.
just
It totally does. Why do I have
wait.
morality?
No. Wait, we're asking for the.
Question
That's exactly what we're asking a defense for. That conditional claim that if we came from like cosmic soup in a one-celled organism, then I can do whatever I want because there's just like that life's purposeless and everything's purposeless. All morality,
Yeah,
we
that
should be
doesn't even
nihilistic
follow.
about everything. That's what I'm asking for the argument
Yeah.
Not
for.
really.
You keep just
Why
like
are we all not-
regurgitating the same like conditional. That's the issue and why I kept interrupting you. And also because you kept
You can
making
love
these
thy
like
neighbor without believing in a
you
floating
keep
man in the
making these
sky.
views too like about like atheism is like entails just naturalism, metaphysical naturalism, which by the way is just like not true. So you can of
You
course
don't, like, listen,
you
you
can
don't-
deny that we came from
Sorry,
one-celled organisms from like cosmic soup, right? Like this abiogenesis methodological scientific approach, and of course still believe in supernaturalism, right? So that doesn't follow. In fact, you might believe like supernatural or even other abstract domains of like Platonistic or these like metaphysically queer categories of like items influenced like your ontology, such that it wasn't the case that it was a god that influenced your ontology, but these other metaphysical things. And it's just not the case. It's like compatible. We could be an incompatibilist about abiogenesis in the methodological science approach. Okay, so you just keep building in these like things that aren't actually baked into the view of atheism, and then you just keep regurgitating the same conditional you're not actually providing a defense for.
What view are you representing, though? Like, what would you say? What would you say you're presenting? If it's not determinism, right? Which is a completely
Wait, we're not
completely
talking
devoid of
about
God.
determinism though.
I understand that.
Determinism is
Okay,
not like
so
a physicalistic thesis, right? Like
Yeah.
determinism
Well,
doesn't entail
no, it's-
physicalism or anything
well,
like that.
determinism
And
would,
also,
would say,
atheism doesn't entail physicalism
oh my
either.
goodness.
All this is like irrelevant.
To be
Right,
clear,
right, I'm not-
determinism is just like a realist view about counterfactuals. right? And nothing. We're not talking about like counterfactuals, like at all.
No. When I say the determinist view of creation would go something like this: there is a series of interconnected causal events, one after the other, matter in motion. There is no creator. There is just matter acting on matter, not influenced by God. Not this is
There can
completely
be a causal
God.
connection that's not deterministic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You can have
Okay. Well, what are you invoking in that regard?
So again,
Deterministic position.
yeah. So determinism. Just to be clear, maybe you should just like read SCP metaphysics. What like determinism is just a view that denies realism about counterfactuals. It's just like this view for which every item in a causal sequence, the prior item, is like some explanatory entailment relation, right? And each item of the sequence is entailing, such that there can't be different consequences that would obtain from the same antecedent. That's what the view is, and nothing we're talking about literally has like any even mild connection to the view, because you can still also be a naturalist, causal realist, atheist, and like not a determinist. Okay, but anyways, so what's the argument that if we came from cosmic soup, then there's no purpose?
Yeah, I understand where you're at with that, brother. You don't agree that.
Well, you're just not providing a defense.
Here's what I want to do. I understand where you're at, and you understand where I hope you understand where I'm at.
I don't.
Say that if
I understand the claim. I just want to.
I can explain, Marco. Marco, I got this. I can explain in like 5 to 10 seconds where I'm at. If we came from cosmic soup and we evolved from a single cell organism, then our life has no purpose. You disagree with that?
I'm not convinced of it.
You're not convinced of it. Which,
Yeah, there is no like entailment being showed here. How
Yeah.
does that follow?
Like you can have a subjectivist view about purpose.
I made my evidence of this. I've
You
laid it
never
out.
provided evidence either. Wait, you never provided evidence either.
Is that I believe I have a purpose in life. I hope
Wait,
that you believe that
you
have a
never.
purpose in life.
Wait, you never
And
provided evidence. You never provided any evidence.
What type? You want to know what I believe my purpose in life is? Do you want to tell me what your purpose in life
First,
is? Do you want to chat?
wait, no,
first.
hold on. First, you didn't provide evidence. Second, evidence in this context would actually be like categorically errors, because what evidence is just indexed to a hypothesis that explains some datum that there's novel predictions that the hypothesis generates that's not compatible with any hypothesis in our background that would furnish motivation for the hypothesis. But we're not even talking about like some hypothesis explaining data. We're talking about like a logical entailment. So we're talking about like this deductive case you're presenting that you're not actually giving a defense for like the conditional statement, and you're just like wildly confused.
Illust, if I
I got this. Go ahead and fix me then. Where am I confused? And please explain it to me.
Okay, sure. So don't bring up evidence in a scenario in which it's not compatible with the context. Okay, that's error number one. Just bringing up evidence saying first it's false you presented evidence, but the category error is simply you talking about some explanatory relation from data to hypothesis that's novel, even though we're not even talking about some type of like anything relating to such. We're talking about like an entailment from the fact that there's like organisms developed from cosmic soup. We're not even talking about like deducing any like novel predictions or testability, right, for the predictive fertility of the hypothesis. This is just like nonsense that doesn't even have like a grain of like relation. I just want to know what's the argument. Wait, okay, so what's the series of premises with the conclusion being?
It's just not necessarily true that, or it just hasn't been demonstrated that if
no, I'm just saying there's a category
chemicals that we don't have purpose. Like, that's all he's saying. Like I think
that's
I would say that I think that I have purpose in the things that I do in my day to day, as well as my greater goals for my life. And I think that the purpose you're referring to is a purpose in like eternality, right? And I think it could be true that if we are made up of chemicals and only made up of chemicals, that we don't have an eternal purpose, because from what we understand about physics, the universe is on like it's on a timeline.
Okay, but I just want to get clear from Boba. Do you have the view like someone can believe they have purpose and they don't have purpose?
I think something that you're misunderstanding, Illust, is that I'm not trying to prove to you creation at this moment. I'm trying to prove to you.
We're not even talking about it. I know.
We all have a value.
I didn't even bring up creation. We're talking about if we came from cosmic. We're just talking about the same conditional. I feel like repetitively asks for conditional. But I just want to get clear. Are you saying that if one believes that they have purpose, that they can be wrong? Like, is it possible you believe you have purpose and you don't have purpose?
I'm saying that if we, under atheism, all of our purpose in life is all equal to each other, and it also does
that's
not
not
matter.
True either. Wait, that's another false claim. Because
you can wrong if it's an
okay, look, you can be an atheist and then you can believe the axiology distribution is just not like equal-numerous among agents. So different people have different levels of purpose. Again, you just keep baking in these like views that atheism simpliciter doesn't commit to. Maybe a specific atheist believes this, but atheism is merely just the disbelief in a deity, and nothing about the disbelief in a deity means the like purpose distribution among agents is equal. Has nothing to do with that.
I can disagree with that because.
Oh wait, look, all atheists. Wait, where in the expression "I disbelieve a mind created the universe" does it actually entail that the distribution of purpose is equal?
Like this. See, I believe that I have a higher purpose on this world.
No, I'm asking for the argument for the conditional.
Don't worry. This is the argument that I have. For
Okay, so what's premise one?
Why I vow here, brother.
Okay, premise one.
I have.
Here's a picture of Muhammad, chapter 17, verse 1. Look at this.
Can we stop? Go ahead.
What's happening?
So I'm going to start over.
Premise one.
I
Yeah.
believe that I have a higher purpose on this world.
No, I'm not asking about your beliefs. I'm asking for the argument. What's premise one?
Monkey boy. Holy
No. Wait. You very clearly see he's not engaging. You're saying, okay, I'll give the argument. He's talking about his beliefs.
Yes,
Just present.
Okay,
premise one.
Exactly what I'm, here,
Okay,
anyways, I'm
what's
going to show you
Possible
exactly
for
what
him
I'm
to
reading.
engage because I
have-
think like his kind of apologetics came from Frank Turek. I don't think he's
I don't know who
equipped
that
to
is.
engage.
I want to
on
show you
this level.
exactly what I'm reading. I have
I
my
don't
notes
care about
my
what
notes
you
in front of me, and I'm reading this right here.
I don't care about what you're reading. I just want to know what's the argument.
About when we're talking about value in the world.
No, look.
How it is
No.
evidence of God
You said
exists.
no. You said you.
Walk.
No. Okay, look. Let's just walk back the dialectic because now you're not even tracking what's happening. Okay, so I said it's logically possible. An atheist, which just means someone who disbelieves a mind's, manifested existence of the universe, can also believe the axiology and purpose is just not distributed equal among agents. Then you said, I disagree that that's logically possible. Okay, so now you're making this this modal claim of logical entailment, and I'm just asking what's the argument that would illuminate from the expression there's a mind that created the universe, or I disbelieve that there's a mind that created the universe, that that purpose is equal among agents. And then you just decided to ramble and talk about, well, my belief. I just want to know the series of
for
premises.
3 seconds, and you interrupted me for the 100th time. And I'm just saying,
what's premise one of the argument?
And I'm just saying, like, I'm definitely the most patient mod, and anyone else would have.
But you just keep dodging is the issue. Okay, look, let's just try again. What's premise one of the argument?
Illis, can I ask you a question?
But you just laugh and then you just
hear
don't
whether he
respond.
understands.
Look, I just doubt he has an argument at this point. Look, do you have an argument?
Let's hear whether he even understands your question. I don't think like he grasps what you're asking him. So let's ask him to like.
Oh my.
Yeah, he's just gonna like not disengage because I don't think he actually understood the question. Like if you ask him to repeat the question back to you, I don't think he knows what you're asking.
Oh yeah, sure. Look, I can ask you. What do you think I'm asking you to present an argument for? Baba.
What?
Yeah. So just to be clear, I just want to make sure you're tracking. What is the proposition I'm asking you to defend currently? What am I asking you to present an argument in light of? What proposition?
I'm gonna pass you to someone else because I always look for two things. I just want people to be honest and always receptive.
I'm being honest.
You and I've met Marco
engaging.
before, and I know that you guys are both never receptive to Christians or the idea of a creator.
That's not
so I just
true.
want to pass it to someone.
Wait, look, you're very clearly just not presenting an argument, and every time I interrupt you, you say I'm going for 3 seconds, and then what you begin saying is just not a premise of the argument. You say my argument is, and then you say, well, I believe in this, that, and none of that is like an argument. None of those are even well-formed formulas. Like, do you even know what that is? Wait, why do you keep like saying my name? I'm trying to like see if like the person who's making a claim like can defend it.
I want to ask you a question. That's all.
Okay, well, since he's not going to like present an argument, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, what is the philosophical view that all events in the universe, including human decisions and actions, are causally inevitable?
That might be like some robust predeterminism or determinism. But you can be a compatibilist. No, because you can be a compatibilist. So you can believe there's items in a causal sequence that some of which have actual counterfactuals and others don't. Okay, so you can just be a compatibilist.
I wasn't making that argument. Okay, I'm just saying that.
Oh no, I'm just making it clear that's specifically robust determinism.
Right. I think because honestly, I'm not really sure. Like, what is the question that you were asking him? Because he seems to be presenting an answer based on that.
Okay, so I asked him to present an argument for the proposition that if, because now he said he denied that's logically possible, you can be an atheist and believe that purpose isn't distributed equally. And I said, what the hell? Now I know a number of, in fact, like academic philosophers who have this view. So it's just straightforwardly false that this is an entailment from atheism. But I just asked them to defend this like logical relation that's like logically necessary. That if you're an atheist, you believe every agent has equal purpose. And then he didn't give a premise, right? So then he just wasn't actually answering the question of what's his argument. Now, if you know anything, the reason why I cut him off, quote unquote, 3 seconds in is because he said, what I believe is, and if you know what a well-formed formula is, you would just know expressing your dogmatic attitudes isn't like regimentable to like a well-formed formula. So he's just obviously not giving a premise of an argument. Okay, so then I cut him off, in hopes of saving the dialectic from being vicious in his ramble and asking him to now present a premise of the argument. Then he goes back to doing what he was doing prior, which wasn't actually presenting a premise of the argument. Okay, so I just want to get clear again. What's the argument for the proposition that if you're an atheist, then purpose is distributed equally among agents? That you also have that belief. Obviously, he's not even saying, he's saying that that's like an entailment of belief, that you also have the belief that every agent, because obviously he also wants to say he denies that atheism can have purpose, right? So he wants to say that if you're an atheist, then you must believe too that you like purpose is equally distributed, right? And that's just
Listen,
that doesn't follow.
I'm an atheist, and Mom said it's my turn with the purpose. Okay, you can have it after I'm done.
Wait, okay. Well, if he's not gonna give an argument, go ahead. That's fine. I just expected him not to have an argument, anyways.
It's my turn.
What's your purpose under atheism?
Yeah, you could go. He doesn't have an argument, so you're good.
I wouldn't say I have a purpose under atheism. I would just say I have a purpose under like the goals I've defined for my life. I really want to work with.
Yeah, it could be for a variety of reasons, right? The point being, and Monkey Boy was about to.
I'm saying
Monkey Boy was about to point it out. You're asking about it. It seems like you don't understand, which is fine. Like you don't understand why it would be wrong in an atheist worldview, but you're the one saying it is necessarily incompatible with an atheist worldview that there's some sort of purpose or moral realism.
That was a sidestep. Yeah, that's not very fair. That was a sidestep. You can't just go when he asks you a question. You can't just go, "Well, it's not my fault. You don't understand." No, boo boo.
No, you're misunderstanding. He's defending. Hold on. He's defending a very specific claim. He's defending the claim that moral or purpose realism or whatever is going to be incompatible with an atheist worldview. And then he asks, "Well, why is it wrong in an atheist worldview?"
Yeah,
but you understand that he has to be the one to point out. He has to be the one to point out.
There's two different arguments. I'm not saying that he's making a properly formulated argument.
He has to be the one to point out why it's not wrong in an atheist worldview. Absolutely.
Fip, your mic is really bad, or like your lag is really bad.
So do you like actually have like a reason to believe that if you came from cosmic soup that you have no purpose?
It just means that I am just as valuable to this earth as the mountains and the trees and the water.
I already
so it doesn't. So it doesn't.
Wait.
You can just deny this this axiological distribution that's like equal numerous among agents, like the number of like.
If you're an academic, this is what I was getting at. This is what I was getting at with the whole thing about punching grandma.
Atheist.
Here, this is what I was getting at with them when talking about punching grandma. This is to be academically consistent with your atheist worldview. You have to say that my belief, my morality is just as equal to yours. It is just as true as yours is.
No, you don't. No, you're just wrong. So yeah, there are
why is my view different or not bad compared to yours?
Well, it depends on the view that you take. There are plenty of atheists who are moral realists, right? So it could be the case that, if I'm an atheist, I'm a moral realist and a utilitarian, right? And I believe that, it's a moral absolute, whatever way you want to describe it. It's a real objective fact that causing more suffering than pleasure is bad. It's a real objective fact that causing more pleasure than suffering is good, right? Obviously, there are different ways of describing utilitarianism, but that's a general idea. It could be the case that I say that, right? And somebody says, well, I want to punch grandmas. And I say, well, yeah, it's just an objective fact that that's bad because it disaccords with utility or causes negative utility, right? That's an example of a moral realist worldview that an atheist can hold that's not inconsistent with their view at all. Unless you think there's an inconsistency, but I'm not aware of what that inconsistency is.
Just to be clear,
I believe
Mason,
it's an inconsistency.
I just want to, point this out there.
Yes,
he's not even making the claim that if you're an atheist, you don't have like purpose realism. He's saying that it entails you're a purpose nihilist. So he's saying that you can't even have subjective purpose.
Yeah, that's why I believe that if you are an atheist, then silently, even though you may not admit it, you believe that there are moral absolutes in the world. We can all agree. I hope everyone in this call, everyone in this Discord server, will agree that the slaughter of innocent children is always a bad thing.
No, wait, that's different. You can be a moral universalist and subjectivist.
Yeah, you don't have to be. You don't have to. Hold on. You don't have to. You don't have to agree.
You can't speak for everybody when you say that. Everybody.
Yes, you don't have to. You don't have to agree that there are moral absolutes to agree that that thing is wrong in all cases, right? So I could be like a subjectivist, and I could say, yeah, this thing is wrong. I think this thing is wrong in all cases, subjectively. You don't have to agree that there are moral absolutes. If you want to say something like, oh, everyone in this call agrees that it's objectively morally wrong to kill children, well, that's not true at all. A lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that because a lot of people aren't moral realists. The modifier objective or subjective there doesn't change the fact that most people think it's wrong. But yeah, like saying that most people agree it's objectively wrong is just not true.
Wait, I would say most people don't even know why it's wrong. Like most lay people who think like murder is wrong, they don't really even think about the reasons why it might be wrong. They just have like a kind of feeling that it is.
Yeah, they have like a seeming or
that's why I say that they're all like. That's why I said they're all like quietly. They don't want to say, but they believe that is a moral absolute. That like punching grandma is wrong. Killing children is wrong.
No, you're conflating universal moral truth.
No,
wait, but you're just conflating moral like universal truth with like an absolute. Again, so everyone can think like doing some action is like wrong in all contexts, in every instance.
Yeah, I have a question to that then, Ellis. Then why is it that everyone in the world, every nation throughout all of mankind, will put laws in place that will say not to murder your neighbor?
That has nothing to do with absolutism.
Not to rape.
No, but you don't understand that.
that does 100%. It's really good evidence.
No. Okay,
look, wait. Universally agree.
No.
Universally agree.
No.
Killing children is bad.
No, universal is not absolute.
In a variety of ways. Yeah, just because Monkey Boy's correct. Just because something's universal doesn't mean it's subjective. Yeah, the point being is this could be explained in a variety of ways, right? This could also be used as evidence for subjectivism, right? It could be the case that everybody cares about themselves or has like self-interest regarding themselves and other people and want to come to a compromise about how to best maximize those interests, right? That could be another explanation for why people often implement laws that maximize themselves and everybody else's best interest, right? Like it's not evidence for absolutes. It's just evidence for people agreeing on things that they want. Whether those things that they want are indexed to absolutes or not is just not relevant.
That's just called intersubjectivity. Like, look, it can be the case that's agreed subjectively among all agents, so it's universal. Doesn't make it objectivism isn't the view; it's universal. This is like Reddit level theist error. To be clear, what it means to say that something is like objective is that it doesn't turn the beliefs don't influence the proposition's truth. There's no like impartiality. Like even if like first the primacy of the belief isn't like perspective dependent.
Wait, Monkey Boy, do you mind if I like speak to this person for a second?
Me?
Sure, but he has like literally no clue what he's talking about, like at all. But go ahead.
I'm an idiot. I have no IQ, by the way.
Are you saying something like atheism and anti-realism or something?
No,
I'm saying
to be clear,
I can speak for myself, at least.
No, I just want to because
I can speak for myself. I'll give you now. Don't worry, I got you. The turns. What are you asking me if I?
Are you saying something like?
I'll tell you the proposition.
Dude, he's been speaking for 2 seconds, Illist.
I'm just saying I can tell him the proposition you were defending.
Let him speak.
Yeah, we heard. What was the question? Yes. I was just trying to answer.
Are you saying something like atheism?
No, he's saying that if you came from cosmic soup, then life is purposeless.
Illist, I want to hear him speak. I will unmute you, I promise.
Okay. Are you saying something like atheism entails moral anti-realism?
I say that the atheist worldview ultimately will come to despair, because if atheism is real, chaos rules over the world, morality becomes relative, because life becomes absurd because we came from nothing. We didn't come from a creator. We came from just matter and energy, or chemical soup is the word I keep throwing out there.
That's not that. You're not really answering the question. I'm just asking.
Does it believe moral relativity? Yes.
Wait, you're saying atheism entails moral relativism?
Yes.
Wait, like what sort of argument would you have for that?
Because the Christian belief is that God wrote all of his laws into our hearts. We have moral objectivity. And if you don't believe in a God, then everyone chooses their own morality.
Wait, so you just like believe that like God gives you objective morality? That's compatible with atheism not entailing moral anti-realism.
That's not containing moral anti-realism.
You can also believe in a creator and be more
not proving anything. It's compatible with the proposition that you forwarded being false. So that doesn't do anything.
Illis, I just want to respond to you. Not in the Christian chat. 2 Corinthians 3:3.
God. Do you think if God
not the Christian God?
Okay, look, let me just ask you. If God said killing is good, is it now good or bad?
Well, that's why I say that's why I bring up the Christian God. The Christian God just says that murder is wrong, and you're in a Christian chat room.
I'm just asking.
So we don't believe that murder is good.
Says that killing is good.
How did you
prove that
Christians can be more relativists?
Okay, look, I'm asking if God says killing is good, is it good or bad?
Objectively, I'll put it this way: if you believe in a God that says killing is good, then I would love to see you try to live out that lifestyle and go ahead and kill people.
That's not answering my.
And get away with it.
Look, what I'm asking is, if God told you killing is good, is it good or bad now? Does it remain bad or is it good?
Killing was bad. The point is, this is a hypothetical because this is a hypothetical. That is impossible. The Christian God does not say that killing is good. Therefore, I do not.
Yeah, it is a hypothetical. It's logically possible.
Wait, hold on.
Now, look,
it's actually logically impossible for the Christian God to say that killing is good.
Wait, how?
I mean, I would actually argue that the Christian God has at least instantiated one time where killing was a good thing.
Yep. True.
He's talking about murder. He's talking about murder.
Well, no. I would say that God himself provides a basis by which Jesus Christ himself was murdered.
Okay,
because murder.
I didn't get an answer to the question.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm just addressing the claim that he made from Christianity. He's saying he's objecting to your question on the grounds that God would never say. Yeah, God would never say it's good to kill someone. Like he's objecting on that grounds, but I don't think that's true. I think that he said it is good to kill and even murder someone because obviously, killing Jesus Christ didn't deserve to die. And if you don't deserve to die and you are killed, I think that's a murder because it's an unjustified killing. And since Jesus was perfect and he didn't deserve to die, he was murdered. And that murder was good. So
I think you have a misunderstanding. I just go ahead and cut me off if I'm misinterpreting you. But it sounds like what you're saying is that the killing of Jesus Christ was accepted by God. Like it was.
Yeah, it was required because God required
just because it was prophesized, just because it was a prophecy that Jesus Christ was going to be the perfect Lamb of God and he was going to die, does not mean that his death was a good thing.
Is it a bad thing to provide the means of salvation?
That's a murder. It's outlined by the Ten Commandments.
Like, what was it bad that Jesus Christ sacrificed himself for our sins?
Is that murder?
That is a good
murder.
Is Jesus committing murder?
Don't get me
wasn't committing murder, but like,
okay, so it's not good on the part of the person murdering Christ.
Judas murdered Jesus.
Fine.
Can you?
Why do you do that?
Yeah, Jesus didn't murder anyone.
I didn't say
he was
Jesus murdered someone. I said Jesus was murdered, and that was good.
Where in the Bible does it say murdering God's good? Please show me.
It's from the definition
not in
of
there.
murder.
So that's how we help you understand the Christianity. We go to the book, we read the book, we interpret the book, and that's how you know what Christianity is.
Buffalo, let him
The book does not say, she's over talking, he's just trying to filibuster. Your proposition's dead in the water. There is no scripture that says killing God is good.
You're fucking. You suck cock.
So I think murder.
I'm trying not to swear.
Mad because your propositions get defeated by the Bible.
You wait until
daily
speaking
with you guys.
Buffalo, go ahead and do. I want to meet you. I promise. But go ahead and let him speak. I want to hear what he has to say because I'm. Yeah, go ahead.
A murder is. Whenever I ask any Christian what a murder is, they always tell me an unjust killing. Okay, Jesus died, and the way that he died was fundamentally unjust. He did not deserve to die because he did not sin, and because he was killed by, whether you take it to be the Roman government or Judas or the Jews or whatever, he was killed by somebody, and he didn't deserve to die, and therefore he was murdered. And his murder was required for human salvation in conjunction with your belief that he, died for your sins, right? And so that just follows from the definition of murder that Jesus was murdered and it was good.
Just because, you're right. Jesus died, he was murdered. There's murder that's recorded in the Bible. There's rape that's recorded in the Bible. There's polygamy that's recorded in the Bible. There's not a single verse that advocates this to be a good thing that's happening. Don't get me wrong. It is a good thing that Jesus died for our sins and he is now our savior. But him dying is a tragedy. We acknowledge it as a tragedy that happened. He was perfectly innocent, did not commit a sin, did nothing wrong.
This is preposterous on the face of it. The reason any person is condemned ultimately by God, right, is because of their refusal to receive the atonement that Christ became, right? For you to say that murdering Christ is good means that on Judgment Day, you should expect that if you reject Christ, God will accept you. It's totally ridiculous.
Jesus chose to participate in his own murder. He didn't put up a defense.
That doesn't matter.
Hold on.
It's also not relevant to whether or not it was good.
Yeah, again, if you're going to get condemned forever for your sin, right?
Real quick, Neon.
People say murder is good.
Well, he also had no sin.
I'm saying, according to Christianity, it was good that Christ died. Because
it's good that Christ offered himself up as a sacrifice.
Yeah. Right. We wouldn't say
murder, dude.
We wouldn't say that we wouldn't say that it's good that Christ was unjustly murdered. We would say it's good that he was willing to sacrifice himself, having no sin, in order to pay for the sins of humanity. So I guess I would phrase that a little bit differently from Christian theology rather than say that the murder was good so that we have sin. I would still condemn the murder, but Christ himself knew the murder was going to happen. Those
people who betray Christ are going to be condemned for murder.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's say you had a time machine.
Say it's good and that the Bible promotes murder, dude.
Hold on, I want to jump.
Not murder, not murdering everyone. It doesn't
dude, murdering anyone.
Hang on.
Time.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Talks a lot.
It doesn't permit murder all the time. It just, in a moral sense, permits the murder of Jesus Christ.
The murder of Christ is what those murderers. No, hold on. They will be condemned for murder forever.
Why am I not being allowed to speak?
It's an evil which exists, right?
Neon, it's not a good argument.
Dude, I'm giving you a clear understanding, and you're rejecting it to promote your atheistic worldview at large. No, you're
analyzing your worldview, and it should be. You're
not good at analyzing. So parse it out more carefully.
Neon.
That we're even talking about scripture.
I am talking.
Neon, hold on, boys. Neon, I promise to unmute you. I want to go back to Turns because he asked the original question.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like we've exhausted this topic.
The point is about moral relativism in Christianity. It cannot be a Christian moral relativism.
In response to what you were saying, so you were saying something like, "Well, Christians hold this belief that God grounds like objective morality or something," and I was just saying that that's compatible with you saying that, your strict conditional atheism, or necessarily if atheism is true or something, then moral relativism is true. I was just saying that that's compatible with that being false.
What part is it? Sorry? It was like God creating our morality is compatible with...
Well, you holding that belief.
My belief in that... What are you saying that my belief lines up with moral relativism?
Well, you said something like, keep in mind, right? Like I asked you what's the argument that necessarily if atheism is true, then moral relativism is true. And you said something like, well, Christians just hold this belief that God grounds objective morality. And I was saying, yeah, you can hold that belief. That's consistent with that strict conditional being false. So you're not proving anything when you say that.
My evidence for that being true is that I brought it up earlier, and I hope this is me answering the question because I know I get people jumping on me for whenever I don't answer a question, is that we can all agree that slaughtering innocent children is wrong. That's proof that there is a moral absolute in the world. We all morally object to it.
No.
No.
Okay, yeah, that's also consistent with your with that conditional you laid out being false. That there's like moral absolutes or whatever. That's also consistent with that, and that doesn't really like respond to like the other thing, which is just Christians holding that belief that God grounds morality. That doesn't respond to that being consistent with your conditional being false as well. So I mean, you're not proving anything with either of those statements. Like you realize that, right?
Well, what I point out, it is consistent with the Christian worldview for us to believe in an objective morality, because it's in the Bible, 2 Corinthians 3.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's inconsistent.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like you can believe that like God grounds morality or whatever. Like you can hold that belief. That's not going to entail like the statement that you wanted to entail, which is just if atheism is true, then moral relativism is true. It's not going to entail that.
Because if you believe in, because another thing that is true is that we all believe that we have a purpose in this life because of God. God created us. Like, for example, you, Turns, you are a person who is created in God's image. Therefore, I believe because of that, you have value. And I believe because I was created in God's image, I have value. And if God doesn't exist, God didn't create us. We're just walking clumps of matter. We're just walking clumps of chemicals and matter.
Yeah.
Wait, to be clear, wait, hold on, Terrence, can Terrence, can I interject real quick?
Sure.
Hold on, hold on.
Chemicals and emotions. And goddamn.
Go ahead, Mason.
So listen, what you just said, it's like begging the question, right? So I mean, if the claim is like, oh, an atheist worldview can't have purpose, and you say, well, a worldview, and my argument for that or my justification for that is a worldview without God can't have purpose. That's just like begging the question. You're just like restating the claim. You know what I mean? Like, and what Terrence is saying about compatibility, like, I'm not sure you fully understand because you keep doing it. Like, I'll just give like a simple explanation, and then maybe it'll help understand. So imagine I say something like, yeah, I think if I go to school tomorrow, I'm gonna have a really good time, and somebody says, oh, why do you believe that? And I say, well, you know, in my worldview, the sky is blue, and they're like, well, wait a minute, the sky can be blue, and you can also not have a good time at school, right? This is the sort of thing that you're doing. Is Terrence is asking, well, why does atheism entail moral relativism? And you say, well, in my Christian worldview, objective morality exists. Well, it could also be the case that both objective morality exists and an atheist worldview doesn't entail moral relativism.
Like what you laid out just doesn't.
But without God, ultimately, without God, I can come to you and rape you in your anus. And you would have no.
I guarantee you could not.
Let's figure it out here. Let's figure it out.
Hold on. All right, let's relax. Let's relax.